Welcome here to a special NFL draft. Rob Drummond played for Syracuse as well as the Philadelphia Eagles and for the Canadian Football League. Got one of your championship rings on. I believe you have 5 of those altogether. But the last undefeated Syracuse team came under you, Rob, and obviously Syracuse is trying to get back to the time of where they were in the late 80s. There was a lot of great things back then. They just picked up a good running back, but we're going to be doing a special NFL draft show. Before we get there, I think it's only fair to say, how do you feel about Syracuse football right now, being an alum, being from this town, and obviously having a great history while you were here?
You know, as a former player, I believe in of course, and it's tough for me and a lot of other players across the country who graduated from Syracuse and played in Syracuse and Coach McPherson, where we went to bowl games, you know, we had the dome rocking, where my junior year we were 11-12, my senior year we were 10-2, the following year we were 10-2 again. It was just a season goal where win 3 games, win 4 games, win 6 games. It was frustrating. But you know what? Eventually we're going to turn it around. I think the signing of this one young man to Washington, was a step in the right direction. You know, we need a few more signings like that. I always sit here jokingly and say, when I played at Syracuse, we had so much local talent on the team. And what I feel they don't fail to understand is that, when you're a local kid, you're given the opportunity to go and play in front of families and play in front of friends. You go out there and you give just that much more effort than say a guy from Tortora or a guy from Alabama or a guy from Florida would get. So we put our heart and soul to it as local players, more so than they'll ever know. Until they get back to the point where they recruit enough guys in this area to play, they're going to stay where they're at.
And that's something that you talked about a lot is, Syracuse going after guys in New Jersey, guys in Florida. But there's a new thing with the coaching staff at Syracuse. Joe Adam put it out, the offensive line coach, and he said he wants to do this thing called close the border, where he's down in New York City, he's looking at players out there. You obviously know a lot of good guys from upstate New York. You train a lot of the guys that are playing in high school football up here. The whole close the border idea, what do you think about that? Is that something that you like, that you feel like is something that maybe should have happened a long time ago?
You know what, honestly, you look at the top teams across the country. You look at Florida State, where are their players from? It's the state of Florida. You look at a team like USC, where are their players from? California. You look at a place like Texas, a strong team. Where are their players from? Like Texas. When you look at the strong teams throughout across the country, most of their top players are from their hometown. And I'll tell you why they're from their hometown, because they know those players each week out, day in and day out, are going to go there and get 110%. I worked so hard because I wanted to go out there and please my family and please my friends and just go out there and play the drum and I do every player from myself to Chris Henry, to Scott Sweden, to Henry Corner, all the local players who are out there and play with heart and soul. And the other programs already understand what Syracuse needs to understand.
You're so big on getting local talent here. Who are some of the guys that you can say right now playing high school football in upstate New York? Who are some of the guys that stick out to you as far as what position they play and who they are? Who are some of those guys that you really feel should get a good look at? I know you used to train Tyrone Wheatley's son, and obviously he moved on with his father and has done so many great things, and his future is very bright, but you had an opportunity to see him while he was here. Syracuse went after him a little bit there. But who are some of those talented kids that are still here in our backyard in Central New York?
There are a ton of talented kids. The one thing that burned me was when Syracuse had 2 of the top athletes in Central New York, the 2 defensive linemen for here. But one went to Villanova and the other went to Youngstown State. And I'm like, these are 2 kids who may not have been that top tier, 5-star athlete you were looking for, but I guarantee you that by the time you're done with college, you'll be 2 probably All-Americans in the Class A player, because these are 2 kids who had all the talent in the world. But once they got to Syracuse, they went out there and just worked super hard. But it's just there's a linebacker, Fayetteville Manners. I think it's an outstanding linebacker. He's the one who's standing out in my head. Granted, I train him, and even now so, he's getting recruited by Duke. He's getting recruited by Wisconsin, Minnesota, Ohio State. Syracuse, what are you doing? Here's someone in your own backyard who, even if you show interest in the sophomore, as a junior, it's going to make him work that much harder. And now it's easy for you to go to be able to offer a scholarship. by the grace of God, I was able to get a scholarship offer as a sophomore. I was big, strong, and fast, but then it made me work that much harder to get that much better. So when I got to Syracuse, I started as a freshman. The second freshman in the history of the university that ever started his first game. And it wasn't because of my magic or my action. It was because they showed me as a sophomore that I was talented enough to play there. So I went up there, I worked my behind out. And that's what you do when you come from Syracuse, you play with Syracuse.
You had an option to go to Penn State or Syracuse. There were moments where you were leaning toward Penn State. Your mom got a degree from Syracuse. You said that was important to you. What ultimately was the separation for you? Was it family? Was it hometown? What made you say, you know what, Syracuse, I'm coming here as opposed to playing for the Lions?
Honestly, I think the simple fact I thought it'd be cool to get a degree from the same university as my mom. Plus I was a mama's boy really growing up, so it wasn't no damage. All of the furthest thing, my mother was in Syracuse. Since it was in my own backyard, it was a blessing in disguise because for 4 years I had a cheering section at every single practice in Syracuse. And even in games, when I wasn't having a good game, I would turn around and people would still applaud, people would still say it's okay, before I just keep working. And that's a reassuring thing to hear when you're a local player. I was always called the local, doing all things of that nature. You know what? You take pride in things like that. And that's one thing that coaches need to understand. Kids are very, very prideful. So if you put them in a situation where they can be prideful, they're going to be successful. So Syracuse will get to that point once they start understanding that.
Did you ever find that it was difficult for you to play in front of the hometown? Because, I know there's a lot of positives that go with it, but there's also a lot of pressure that can go with playing in front of people that you grew up with, people that you know, teachers, fellow students, peers, whatnot, family members. How did you kind of view it when you stepped on the field? Did you ever feel the pressure of being in your hometown, or did you always feel the love and respect and that the other side of it, so to speak?
You know what? The one philosophy I always had, even in high school, I always told myself, you know what? You're not perfect. You're gonna make mistakes, but you're gonna always correct the mistake. So that's a one thing. That's the thing I teach my children to this day. It's okay to make mistakes. No one's perfect. They're gonna make a mistake, but always understand be able to go out there and correct that mistake. Try and learn them, but you know what? Just correct that mistake. So whenever the fans would always cheer me whether I did good or whether I did bad. You know what? They knew I was trying. So as long as you go out there and give 110%, and understand you can correct that mistake, we'll just be fine.
You brought up the fact that there's a running back coming into Syracuse. Last show that I did here was right before, it was a day before actually, he verbally committed. Robert Washington, coming from North Carolina. He is considered one of the best running backs in the 2016 incoming class. He wants to wear number 44. He wants to earn the number 44. But he's someone I've talked to for the past year and a half. He had 42 offers. He turned down Alabama, Florida, TCU, North Carolina, and Michigan, who are just the ones in his top 6. And he turned down everybody outside of that to say yes to Syracuse. What can you say about the fact that there is a recruit out there that is, and we know the star system can be skewed and it's different, and some people see it a certain way and some people don't, but what's known is that this man has rushed for over 1,000 yards every season he's played high school football. He rushed for over 2,200 yards in his sophomore and junior seasons, almost 30 touchdowns as a sophomore and a junior, and obviously somebody saw something in him all across the country for 40-plus offers. What does this verbal commitment mean for Syracuse?
It's a great sign for Syracuse. And I respect the man for the simple fact that he doesn't want to come in and be given number 44 because there's a lot of tradition, a lot of history in number 44. And I think a lot of people don't understand how the legend of 44 became about. If you ever want me to sit down and tell you, I can tell you because it's very, very interesting. So I sit here and applaud him for the simple fact that he wants to earn a number. I always say that. Just don't give him out that number. I don't care because he's Mr. World, the football player. Still earn the respect of the legends that were there before to go out there and get their number. I myself had my jersey retired at James Woodward High School, where I played football. If a young man came and wanted to go my number, I'd be like, you know what, go out there and practice and go out there and earn your career. Show me you can earn it. I would have no problem with it. You know what, I talk to Floyd all the time about that. You know what, he said, he doesn't mind anybody wearing the number for as long as they earn it. But it's a great sign for Syracuse. This is something I think that can jumpstart us, and this is part of something promising. Because I saw on social media where other top elite athletes now are saying, wow, I was saying, nothing is signed with Syracuse. Maybe I should give Syracuse a lot more looks, and that's a good thing. It put us back on the map.
And that's the thing. Robert Washington played for Team USA against Canada down in Texas. So he met a lot of people. He networks a lot. He's talked to people about the schools that he's interested in for a very long time. So when it comes down to it, he's already kind of started this network. And now that he has the network, he's been utilizing it. And he's soon, and I talked to a lot of the recruits after he verbally committed to Syracuse. And I said, how fast did Robert Washington get you? How quickly did he text you or call you or whatever? These guys were saying that it was immediate, and it's crazy. He's talking to guys in the 2016 class, 2017, 2018. He's reaching out and saying, be a part of history, help me change this program for the better. What does it say to you that a kid, not from Syracuse, from North Carolina, with an opportunity to go to other teams that have won championships recently, not only wants to come to Syracuse, but is now taking it upon himself to recruit for at least the next 3 years, if not longer?
You know, it just tells me this young man wants to be a part of something special, and he doesn't want to go to a football academy. He goes to Alabama, he's just a number. He goes to TCU, he's just a number. He goes to any other top elite program in the country, he's just a number. He comes to Syracuse, you have a chance to be the start of something special. Heck, I did it in 1985-86, but after 87, we will let her know. The following year, we went to another bowl game. We started something special, and that's more fulfilling than being able to go to a team like an Alabama or an Auburn or USC or Oregon, and just basically we keep getting recruit after recruit after recruit after recruit, top recruit. So you want to come in, play right away, be part of something special.
When you look at the number 44, Syracuse fans, people that are here, people that are watching, listening in, some people say keep it retired. Keep number 44 with Jim Brown, with Floyd Little, with Ernie Davis. It's a sacred number. Other people are saying, use it, bring it back, use it in recruiting. The whole restore 44 on social media. People want to see someone wear the number 44. I personally would like to see it because it would be good at this time, growing up. You know, I kind of came on the tail end of seeing stuff. I would like to see someone wear the number 44 during my time. I would like to know someone through recruiting and know the kid at 16, 17, 18 years old and then get to see him wear it, be here to cover him and see how he does. I think it's a great recruiting tool. I think it's a great thing to earn. And I honestly think having the number 44 back will put butts in the seats. What do you think?
If you understand the legend of 44, like I said, you don't retire that number. That number should be active. But the player that wears that number has to earn it because it's a special number. And when you give it time, I can tell you the story behind the legend of 44. But I guarantee you, 95% of people here don't know it. Why it's just about wearing the 44.
Tell the story.
It takes too long. It's a deep story. The story was told by John Mackey, and by actually Ford who signed the story. It's an interesting story. It's a deep story. The jersey should never be retired, but it's a special jersey.
As we look forward here with the Syracuse team, there's a lot of guys that are going into the draft. Sean Hickey, obviously, for the 2015 draft, offensive lineman. He played left tackle, right tackle, left tackle, right tackle, left tackle. One of the only guys in the world that can do this so seamlessly, and I asked him how. And Sean Hickey said to me that he would train his body, not when he's just on the field. He said he would go home, he'd stand in front of the mirror, and he would focus all his weights on the right side, if he was right tackle, left side. He said he was just doing it in daily life. Go out to the store, make sure you're leaning in the right place. So Sean Hickey's been able to do a lot of different things for Syracuse. He's shown that he can be strong on the left or the right side of the offensive line. They're looking at him to play guard potentially. He told me right tackle or either one of the guards. They've looked at him as center as well. And Will Hicks, who obviously trains him at Syracuse, said, listen, this is a guy that if he has never done it before, he's never learned it before, if you teach him, he will. He's one of the guys that just knows how to do that. So we look at Sean Hickey. To me, he is the guy that's going to be drafted first from Syracuse, whatever round it may be. He's the first guy coming off the Syracuse list. Would you agree with that? And what do you think about Sean Hickey?
I completely agree. Very well-spoken, nice young gentleman. You know, the thing about Sean is he's smooth. He understands the game. He understands that you go from guard, the tackle, the center. They always say that the more you know, the harder you stay. Right? They say in the NFL. Learn every position. It makes him more versatile. He understands football is a game of body position, body movement also. I used to do the same thing as a running back when I would walk in the stores. Put all my weight on my left foot, lean a little to the left, put on my left, weight on my left foot, lean a little to the right. Football is not just a game you play. It's practice and practice. You play on Saturdays. It's also a game you play during the week when you're walking and living your everyday life. So Sean understands that he gets that at a very early age, and that's good.
There's one statistic that I don't think a lot of Syracuse fans know, and that's that Sean Hickey, in 38 games, 38 starts. Now, he didn't play his first season. He was injured his first opportunity to play after that. Then he played 3 years straight. Not only played 38 games straight, but started 38 games straight, left on an active streak. And while he was playing for Syracuse, against Louisville, Clemson, and Florida State, he allowed 2 sacks in 38 games against the likes of teams like that with Vic Beasley and everybody on Florida State, as you know, Louisville. He allowed 2 sacks over 38 games. And he said, I think that's a pretty darn good statistic. I don't think it's talked about enough, but it's unheard of that an offensive lineman is only allowing you to get to his quarterback twice in 38 games.
That's pretty impressive. That just says a lot to his mental toughness, his work ethic, and to be able to go out there for 38 games, because everyone makes a mistake here and there. Like I said before, you learn from them, but to be able to go out there and be the mainstay of the left tackle spot, and only give up 2 sacks to blind to his quarterback, that's a heck of a stat.
To finish up here talking about Syracuse before we get into the draft, Darrell Estridge made the decision to forego his final year at Syracuse. Playing the safety position, good or bad idea for Darrell Estridge in hindsight?
I can't speak for him, man. He had to do what he thought was best for him in this family, in this situation. I think looking at his spring and his athleticism, I think another year would have been well for him to get better, because I think he could be a top tier athlete going into the draft next year. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's got to be his decision, and I respect his decision.
That coming from Rob Drummond of Syracuse, CFL and the NFL, played with the Philadelphia Eagles. Very happy to have him here with me live from Tilt-A-Kilt in Syracuse, 3019 Erie Boulevard East. For those watching and listening in, to everybody here that's here, happy to have you out. There are drink specials, drafts for the draft. 10 different draft beers are $3 during the draft, during our show tonight, and the happy hour appetizers are the same price all day long. Thanks to Rob Drummond coming out, and thanks to everybody at Tilt-A-Kilt. Wake Up Call with James Tortora. We'll be back in just a few minutes to talk about the NFL draft, first round as it happens. Rob Drummond and myself, James Tortora, will be back in just a minute.